When you stay within the four walls of your church, you just get kind of stuck in a rut with what you've always done or with what you know. About 5 years ago, God began to kind of stir us as a group of leaders and elders and deacons, and we went to the four corners of Salem. We went as far west as we could get and still be in the city, east, north, and south. The question we were asking God was, God, we believe you want to expand our influence in the city. We want to serve somewhere, and how and where would that be? And one of the teams that came back from the north, they'd been out by what is now Kaiser Station. That team felt like we were going to be working out there in the north part of the city. One day we got a call from our district office. They had a church property and they wanted us to come out and just take a look at it. And sure enough, here was this really nice piece of property with a building and a sanctuary and a gym and so forth. And right across the street is Kennedy School. And so for us, that was like the first order of business. Let's go over and knock on the door and say, hey, we're new in the neighborhood and what can we do for you? And so that's when we met with the principal, Ms. Gallagher, and she was really thrilled at the idea. And she said, I can think of a number of different things, but a teacher, Mrs. Cheever, she had a vision for starting a mentoring program, something they'd never had at Kennedy School.
Good job of getting kids caught up. You can catch up.
She came in and just shared some stories, and it was a powerful moment because she just shared about the number of single moms, the number of kids who had one parent who were incarcerated. She shared about the number of kids that didn't speak English, that were struggling, trying to keep up. That resonated so deeply with us, we knew that we were in the right place at the right time. That night, I think about 35 people signed up. And at first, as they matched us up, those first meetings were awkward. But as we got used to it, and we got used to walking through the halls and putting on the badge once a week and just showing up on a regular basis, it was a real sense of like, yeah, we could do this. You know, we have just an amazing team. Tim Davis, we call him our community pastor. He's kind of our representative out there. He serves on different boards in the Kaiser area. Jimmy and Diana Miller, who are on our core staff, have been very good in the administration side. One of Jimmy's jobs is to take care of our mentors. We've got right now somewhere around 70 mentors that are out there. In mentoring, one of the key ingredients is consistency. We're there every week. When we show up, the kids are looking for us. Part of that consistency was the idea of following them when they graduated from Kennedy. Now we have a group there at Claggett as well. Sam invited us to come to a CAN Center meeting and meet some of the others who were working in the schools as well, and so that was a huge blessing for us to be able to get some information from people who had already been down that road and maybe steal some great ideas. As we got to know SLF and the CAN Center team, we realized that there was a lot of freedom to do what you felt like God was calling you to do in your neighborhood. So there wasn't a cookie-cutter approach, but they were willing to come behind us and support us and champion us in that role and then connect us and network us in the neighborhood. The boy I'm mentoring right now is in 5th grade, and when I go into the classroom to get him on Thursday, I can always tell whether he's having a good day or a bad day. I can tell by the look on his face, and I can tell by the look on the teacher's face. Gabe comes from a really complicated home situation. His mom's really not in the picture. His dad's doing the best job he can. One particular Thursday when I went in, I walked in the room and I looked, and he was alone at his desk, and I could tell it wasn't a good day. And when I asked the teacher, well, what's the issue? He said he's having some real issues with respect. We went into the library and we sat down, and I looked at him and said, Gabe, you're in trouble for being disrespectful. He said, yeah. I said, so what does respect look like to you? He just looked at me and said, you know, when someone just gives me a hug. And you know, in that moment, I just heard the cry of a kid. But I just heard the cry of a kid that said, man, I just want the most basic stuff. I just want to be loved. As these kids get older, they're going to remember somebody that came in on a consistent basis and loved them. He's an energetic young guy. He's a natural leader. He's improved scholastically, and then I've seen even a change in him in the way he relates to people. Last year, I said, would you like to go watch a soccer game? And so he said, sure. So we went over to Willamette University, and he had never been on a university campus. And so as the game ended, I said, well, let's go look around. We walked through the gymnasium and the library, and I said, hey, you could be at a place like this one day. And then when we got to the end of the day, he said, I could go to university. I said, yeah, you're right, you could.